This is Dr. Ryan Bartek reporting to you once again after a bit of a lull. We've been dealing with a little bit of bizarre drama in our camp, which some of you have seen online, but we're not going to spend too much time going over that because there's other news. The major news this week is that in Oakland, the riot cops, the tear gas, the rubber bullets, Marine Lance Corporal Scott Olson, who did 2 tours in Iraq, took a rubber bullet to the face, which fractured his skull and also swelled his brain out. So he is apparently in stable condition, but he's still lucid. Nobody's sure exactly what will happen. In other news, Occupy Madison lost its permit due to someone publicly masturbating. That's not too good. Tonight, Nashville is being dismantled, as well as Orlando. And San Diego was dismantled earlier, and there's something about 40 arrests, all with riot cops behind it. CNN did an interesting piece called Meet the 99%, where it lists 10 cities and had 10 different people in each one and listing the reason they were there. It's an interesting article online, and at least the major press is doing something. In more bizarre news, as we mentioned earlier, the TSA screener that put the note in the luggage when they found a vibrator in a woman's luggage that wrote, "Get your freak on, girl." This woman has been fired after public backlash. Speaking of the TSA and Homeland Security, Farmington Hills, Michigan will be the first city that will be implementing monitoring surveillance inside street lampposts. The entire city will have infrared, digital uploading footage and surveillance equipment and microphone equipment, so everybody will know. Ron Paul will apparently be running as a third party if he does not get the Republican election. Also, Michael Moore was coming to Portland on Halloween night to film live and do a lot of whatever he does, because he's Michael Moore and he has to show up to us. Homeland Security also has put up checkpoints in Tennessee to keep kids safe from terrorism, because you know there's a terrorist lurking in every single bowl of candy. The most interesting news of this week, though, you won't hear anywhere, is that when the earthquake and tsunami took out northern Japan, it wiped out all the infrastructure. And it was just discovered there is 20 million tons of debris floating in the ocean. That is roughly the size of Texas, is moving at 10 miles a day, is near the Midway Islands, and will coat the entire west coast of Oregon and Washington by late 2013. A lot of people aren't talking about Fukushima. And I've been holding off to explain the really scary stuff to you for a further date. But in the ocean problem, as you might have heard, there are 3 melt-throughs. Not meltdown, melt-throughs. It's the worst catastrophe in human history. Well, as you heard, the Japanese government was spraying seawater inside the nuclear reactors to keep them from exploding. Anyway, they didn't know what to do with the seawater. So the Obama administration told them to dump it in the Pacific. So the Chinese government, on their official website, listed they found 100,000 square miles slick of lethal radiation in the ocean that is anywhere from 300 to 7.5 million times the legal limit and will coat all of the west coast.
Go.
So the other 2 big stories here. The son of Gaddafi, the one that got away, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi. The International Criminal Court is in supposed negotiations with his people to take him away. The funny thing is that he had both his arms blown off by a mortar shell, so he ran away in the desert and he has no arms. I just wanted to bring that up. Also, the European Union struck a deal to come up with $1.4 trillion to save their ass. But they have nowhere to go but China to do so. And China has not approved the money. So if China does not approve the $1.4 trillion, the entire economic system of the world is going to crumble. And it's going to look a lot like 1930. So, on that note, trick or treat, happy Halloween. I'll see you soon again. Occupied States of America, good night.